Hello shape enthusiasts, and welcome back to another episode in our blueprint optimization and compacting series. I have a bit of an interesting one for you this episode. If you've watched my recent Let's Play series for Factory Hard, you saw me attempt to make this crazy monstrosity of a blueprint. But what does that blueprint essentially do? Essentially, what I wanted to do was create a blueprint that you could input 4 shapes, like such. And what it would output is also 4 belts of shapes, like such, that rearranges it. So basically, if you wanted to create a shape, for example, this one where you've got an emerald, a circle, a square, and another emerald, you would input those 4 full shapes, and it would use swappers to basically swap all those shapes around such that 4 output belts of your final shape comes out. It's super useful in my Factory Hard series because, as you can see, the volume of shapes that I need to deliver, it's no longer good enough to sort of deliver 1 belt of shapes at a time. So it's super handy, and also you don't need to use up all 4 belts. You could just use it and use 1 belt of that shape. It also works. So I think it's just a pretty handy blueprint to have. So let's have a look at where we are at with it at the moment. So at the end of my episode 18, I believe it is, in the Factory Hard series, I built this little monstrosity over here, and that is my first attempt at doing it. So basically, if we just look at one layer of it, you can see it basically does this swappy thing, and I'll show you how it works again to sort of output that shape, and it has to do it obviously 4 times to get those 4 full belts out. Now, if you zoom out a bit, you can see not only is this thing a complete and total mess, it doesn't even output the shape correctly. These two are not the same shapes at the moment. We faced many challenges in this design, so I'm going to go through them all, and in this episode, we're going to remedy all those issues, and we're going to create a proper blueprint that can do this job correctly. So one of the first challenges that I faced was the actual swapping mechanic over here. This is not the most efficient way to achieve what we're doing. So if we look at what this is actually doing, it's taking in 4 belts of different shapes: square, circle, emerald, and star. Then it's swapping them, then it's rotating and swapping them again over here, and then it has to do this thing twice, obviously, because whatever comes out here needs to be swapped to get the final shape with all 4 quadrants. But then that needs to happen again over here on these 2 outer belts. But to get that to happen, we have to do this crazy belt nonsense to get it all the way over here to do that again. So that's definitely inefficient and something we should remedy. The other thing that was super annoying is this little thing going on out here. Because we've never done any builds with 4 separate input belts, it's very sort of space consuming to do hoppers to get those 4 belts in. So we'll try to clean this up a little bit as well. Now, problem number 2, once we've cleaned all that up, we got to work on how to actually route 4 inputs in. See this craziness that I'm doing along the edge here? That's all to deal with the fact that only a 2x2 platform can only fit 2 of these things in, right? So I need 2 2x2 platforms, but then we're limited by how many sort of inputs can go in between each of these platforms. So how the heck am I meant to route all of these 4 shapes from the left all the way through here and to the right, as well as all of these shapes on the right all the way through these to the left? There's not enough like openings in between the platforms to do that sort of thing. So we definitely need a solution to that as well. And once we've done all that, hopefully we have a nice compacted build that can handle all this. Now there's 2 approaches that we can take, and we'll see how we go. One, I can just do everything on a 3x3 platform. Now the reason I don't like to do this is because the way the belts route into a 3x3 platform, like 4 belts, is super awkward. I'd have to like route in 2 belts like this, and we have to like route out 4 belts like this. I don't really like that, to keep it symmetrical, right? Otherwise you can have it asymmetrical, of course. But I kind of like this 2x2 and 2x2 design, and just having 4 coming out in a straight line like this. I like that. So I kind of want to stick to that. Now, we're going to have to figure out the first challenge. So let's figure out how we can swap 4 shapes properly. So I'm going to cut this out, and we're just going to move this over here for reference, and we're going to do this whole process over again. So let's grab a new 2x2 platform and see what we can do. Let's route all our shapes in. and let's get started. I should mention that this fix is totally inspired by one of my commenters, WAF, so full credit goes out to him. I did not think of this. In fact, I don't have the brain power to compute the power of swappers, basically, but I'll show you guys what's happening in the old one, and then I'll show you guys the fix. So here's how the old one worked. If we bring the old version over here, I'm just going to route the belts in so you can see. Now it's going to take it one step at a time, right? So here's how the old system worked, right? Basically, you've got your 4 shapes coming in. We do a swap first. Now you've got your swapped shapes. Then we do rotaties to get them to opposite sort of facings. We do the same rotation. Now they're oppositely faced. What we can do is add on a module to crisscross them. So we add on a swapper again. Oops, like this, and that gets your checkerboarded version of the shape, right? And then to the checkerboarded version of your shape, all you need to do is swap them one more time, and then you should have 2 identical shapes. If I rotate this one again, you'll see that these 2 are exactly the same shape, which is great. But the issue that we had was then, how do you get this one and this one to perform this again? And that was super messy, because once you've got that going there as well, you're gonna have to like jump these shapes out, and that's what was causing all of this mess that you saw here. But there is a better way to do this entire process, and this is, I just literally stole this from WAF, because even after designing it, I still, honestly, I have no idea what's going on. So let's try to do it one step at a time. I'll do it slowly so you can probably figure out what's going on, but I'm not even going to try to explain what the heck is going on. It's just, I'm just going to call it black box magic. So the first step remains the same. It looks like this. Then we do our swapping. So we're going to swap, sorry, not our swapping, our rotating. So we're going to rotate like this. We'll do this side rotating this way. That way we flip them upside down, and we're going to rotate the other side the other way around. And they also get flipped upside down. I don't think it matters which way you rotate everything. But then the next step that we're going to do is then swap again, right? To get the checkerboard. So we're going to swap, swap. Now we got checkerboards. To this, we're going to checkerboard the middle section. So we're going to checkerboard this and this. Now we've got 2 iterations of our final shape. Then we need to do more rotating on these 2 sides. And somehow, and this is where it completely loses me, by adding a checkerboard to this, a checkerboard to this, we've created our correct shapes on the outside now, and we've reverted the middle shapes back to their normal checkerboard. We've somehow swapped the lanes, essentially. How? What? That's insane. And then instead of doing that, all we have to fix this, all we have to do is then swap these 2 around one more time. And then one of these lanes just needs to do like, and then we just need to orient these shapes all together, right? Look at them. They're already the same thing. So if we wanted to orient everything to like the top right, for example, all we need to do is 180 rotate that, 180 rotate that. And then by some crazy miracle, you've got 4 of the exact same shapes coming out, and you have no nonsense compared to my old build. Do I still have that in clipboard? I don't think so. Let's look how long this build used to be. That's what I used to be doing, right? My old build worked, by the way. I won't compare the input part, but yeah, that's my old build. It's like literally half the length. I don't even need this part. Like, look how short this thing is. It's literally half the length. Crazy. So basically all of this over here that basically gets these 2 final swaps happening has been replaced by this swappy magic over here. Crazy. Nonsense. Nonsense. Swapping magic nonsense, guys. That's the power of swappers. If you can somehow visually master this, then you have become a shapes master, and you're going to be able to do all sorts of craziness. Anyway, moving on. That's our build. We need to get that working for 4 belts and 3 levels. Let's get going. Great. That's that. Now, challenge number 2. We're going to have to sort out the inputs, right? So we want to get 4 inputs coming out from somewhere, but we've got 4 different shapes that we need to input. This, and this are the same shape, as is that, and you know what I mean. So the idea that I had was, obviously we need to use these jumpers. So we're going to jump like this. The second one, I'm going to leave some space for using regular belt. And the second one can just be like in like this basically. Now, obviously there's no other way to get these other two out except for with more jumpers. So let's just put those jumpers in. Then, because I've left that gap space in there, we can feed some of these jumpers with the space in here. I'm using the learnings I did from here to do this, but cleaner. It's a similar concept. I don't think it saves too much space, but thanks to WAS design, I've got so much more space to work with now to do belt stuff that I need to do. So I'm not scared at all. But essentially what I want to do is this little hook thing. And I want that like everywhere. 2, 3, and 4, right? So we've got 4 hooks going in here. Then we can get that going like that. Then unfortunately, I can't think of another way to do anything besides hopping one more time, because we do need to input with belts at some point like this, right? But this can be done now from this side. We don't have to have all 4 inputs coming from the left because we don't have that much space. Then finally, we've just got one last input, and that is pretty clean way to input into 4 things using only one level. Input 4 different shape inputs into a system without touching the second and third level, right? If you're wondering why I'm not touching the second and third level, it's because I want to just be able to easily copy the design up 2 levels. Now, we've got to worry about this symmetry in the middle because I want a second one over here so we can't cross this center line. So if our input's coming from down here, let's consolidate those inputs. So say like we've got 4 inputs coming up, like from here, for example. We can have the first one input needs to go there. Well, there needs to be another input like here, and that probably needs to go around, right? So something like this. Then this needs to go around and input to something, and it's only going to input to that one. Then I can use this side, but I can only use one tile of this side. So we're going to have to do some hoppy magics. So something like this, and then there needs to be another hopper, something like this. We'll have to work backwards. Now to access this hopper, we need to go something like that. And to access this hopper, we need to, we can just get belt getting there. So say like that's my input. We can weave that belt in like that. And then finally we can weave one belt in like that. And now I have my 4 inputs consolidated. Lovely. That's beautiful. All right. Now we need this happening on the other side. And I'm not sure how this system works with flipping. So we're going to have to learn as we go. In that, what I mean is, I don't know in what order do I have to input this shape, or does it matter at all? Is this system just amazing enough to handle input in any direction as long as I pair them up correctly? Maybe. Who knows? We're going to have to figure it out. Now, the next learning that we had is eventually we're going to need 2 of these platforms, right? And because our belt being fed in looks something like this, there's no way I can get 2 of these platforms sort of like side by side. Well, I can get 2 platforms side by side, but if I have my belts being fed in from the sides like this and there to keep everything symmetric, there's no way. Let me just get the actual shape in so you can see. You can see when this comes out. Oh man, I'm just gonna fix this up. I hate space belts. When this comes out, there is absolutely no way for me to get enough belts to where I need them, right? Because 2 of these squares, one's going to go here and one's going to go here, for example. Let me just cut this before all the shapes go in, right? And then I need 2 squares to go over like here and here, for example, right? But I also need like 2 of my circles, one going there, one going there. I need another circle going to this platform somehow, and another circle going to this platform, and similarly another one of these and another one of these. And that's not done yet. This needs to come back this way. 2 of these belts need to come back this way, and 2 of these belts need to go back this way. So I need 4 belts going across and 4 belts coming back. So that's impossible with this little junction here. So I need another, I definitely need some sort of like processing platform for my belts. So the thought that I had of what I want to do is going to be a little bit weird, but it's kind of fine. So since there's no way to directly belt into here, my thought was, what if I built a like platform like this, right? And now I can have my shapes coming in here like this. So if I have my 4 shapes coming in here like this, then I can use the space in this belt to rearrange the shapes such that they just go out in the correct order. So it's like square, circle, star, emerald, or something like that, right? Whatever, like as long as the order is the same, then in theory, this should just work. I don't know. Okay, so let's try that out. Like maybe we should just, before we do that, we should just test. No, let's just do it. If it doesn't work, then we will fix any problems along the way. So what I mean by that is, what if I get like, say, square, like I want, well, where's my 4 outputs going to be? 2 of them are going to go there, and then 2 of them have to go like here and here, right? So I want them in order, like square, emerald, then circle, and star. So let's get that done. So let's go here. Obviously, I want to cross over any sort of input area. So let's go here. Then we want this next one, and this next one can go all the way across. We'll add belt jumpies later, I guess, wherever they seem necessary. So that one's going to go across and over and up. And we just need to get this in. I don't know which belt is going to be the most efficient. I don't think going across there is going to be the smartest way. So let me just go down this way for now. We can tidy this up at the end after we see where exactly the pain points are. Oh, that just barely fits. Excellent. The reason I got my first belt out here, because these belts go out this way, right? To this first one. And see how this is going to be super easy. Let's just validate one works first. So that's going to go up and just directly link into this input. Right? We'll do it at the end. We'll come back and we'll replace what we can with hoppers, so it makes it blueprint point efficient as well. I'm just going to let that run for a bit. All right, we are back. I've let it run for a bit, and you can see that these 4 belts are indeed the same shape, and it is fully saturated. So this system definitely works. We just need to get the belt routing working. So we obviously need another one to line up with these 4. So something like, well, something like this, right? That's where we want the 4 belts to go. So we need a square in the first one. We need this emerald shape in the second one. This third one can just go, it's going to cut the emerald belt if I do that. What if I do over here? There's also, we need to leave room for the star as well, right? Let's just do it with full belts first. Then we'll figure out where it's efficient to change belts. I don't know which input is the best one to use either. All right, that's the second one done. Then we need to do the same thing for like the third and the fourth one. So theoretically, we should just be able to mimic exactly what we did on the left, but do it backwards. So how does that work? Let's see. We've got to get this first one out. How do we do this first belt? This first belt just comes out. That's fine. Then for the second belt, we need 4 jumpers somehow. Why did I choose to jump here? All right, I chose to jump here to jump this thing. So it's like something like this, this, and this to get these things out. So this second one needs to come across here. Then these third and the fourth belt is going to come from here and here. So I guess this one will go this way. Oh, now everything crosses. Okay, so we need to create some room over here. Maybe we need to go 1 tile up. Then it can't turn either. So maybe this is not the most efficient belt to be using for this. I need some room down here. So let's try using that belt and we'll worry about the fourth one later. So with that, we can now turn this. We can move all of this up 1 tile, get that going up 1 tile. Then we can do some hops. So we can hop, hop. Wait, that hop doesn't work either. We've got to get the hop up 1 more tile, get everything up 1 more tile. It's not going to be perfectly symmetrical. We can't do what we did on the other side over this side. So now we need a square. So let's take the bottom square. We got to hop this crazy belt in the middle. Then we need to just drag this over to this side, and it needs to turn up and go over there. So this is aligned. Great. Now we just need one final one over here somewhere, right? And all this space is being used, so it's a bit hard. So basically we just need 4 that lines up with these 4. Yep. Okay. So now we need one of these. So how am I going to get this one out? This star needs to be on the leftmost side. What? It's going to look a little bit janky, I guess, but we can cut, say, these 2 belts. This star can come hop, hop. And instead of using this one, we can get rid of this completely now. And this one can be used over here, right? Like that. then we can get this star to be here. Like that. That's one. Now we got to get this one over. This one looks pretty easy. So we can just hop somewhere here. Then get that over. Yep, that works. Then we got two more to do. So we got this one. We need to bring that over and get it to connect with that one. So we can just hop, I guess. Not that far, but like here somewhere. And that can go over here and up. And finally, we've left space for our final belt, which is this one. We can get that one to hop. And how does that get out then? Well, we've got plenty of room, so let's just use it. We'll get that to hop like that and something like this, right? It's not symmetrical at all, but yeah, it works. So let's just add some jumpers to cut the belts. Wait, let me just validate these all work before I do that. So we've got square, emerald, circle, start, square, emerald, circle, start, square, emerald, circle, start. Okay, so this sort of works. It's not the most pretty thing in the world, but I don't think rerouting 4 sets of belts is ever going to be pretty. So it is what it is. But let's cut some of these belts where we can. We'll cut that one here and here. We'll cut these ones in the same spots. Here, here, and here. Then here and here. Can we cut this one more? We can. Cut that one. Cut that one. There we go. Now we've cleaned up some belts. What else can we cut? We can cut some of these straight ones. We can cut that and that. Yeah, that looks fine to me. I guess we can. What is happening here? That's going out that way. We can cut this belt. And this can just come up here, here, and here. I want to kind of line all these up somehow, but yeah, I don't think that's happening. Any other belts we can cut? We can cut this belt over here. Wait, which way is that going? That's going this way. We can cut this belt over here. We can cut this belt that's going this way. We can probably cut this one twice. Oh, that's perfect. This one can't cut twice. Cutting twice doesn't look pretty. Let's just cut it this way once. Now we created an opening down the middle. Great. That one's fine. That one's fine. Can we cut any of these belts? I guess we can. Just get this going up higher. We can cut all this. This is fine. We can cut all this. Oops. Whatever. We'll just cut it with actual hoppers, shall we? And that looks fine. Only one hopper there. I don't want to cut that one. Okay, that's fine. Now we just need to get hoppers going. So like that, 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 and I don't think there's enough for there. So let's get that going out. Great. Similar thing on this side. Go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, this one fits perfectly. It's not symmetrical at all, but I don't think it's possible to get this symmetrical. So that's fine. Let's get that, that, and then get that going out. Functional. All right, not bad. I actually needed this. Well, if there was a 2x1, no, there's no way you can do this on a 2x1 platform because you need 4 inputs and 4 outputs, right? But with that being done, we can cut some of these belts as well and get that going into our actual system. Now we can validate whether this works. So if we get all the shapes going in here, does this produce the same thing as this? I think in theory, given the way these swappers work, it should in theory produce the same thing, but we should always validate our assumptions. Let's just double check over here. Kind of, but it's rotated the wrong way. Okay, but we can fix the rotation, right? We have full control of the rotation. Like if we cut these, all of this, we can get this. This is, wait, we got to validate that is the same shape. Let me get that rotated. So the arrow is down facing this way. So we need to 180 that, 180 that. That one's right and 180 that. So we need that sort of system. Something like this. Yeah, okay. Is that this? Yes, it is. Amazing. Amazing, WAF. You did it. You made an amazing blueprint. All right, great. Let's just delete this and copy this again. Great. Then we've got everything we need. Excellent. Let me just test that this worked before I duplicate it up 3 levels. But yeah, this is the system. 4 in, 4 out. Beautiful. I like it. Alright guys, that's been running for a little bit. Let's just double check all the belts are the same shape. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Beautiful. They're all the same shape. They're all fully saturated. This design, it works. Excellent. Let's copy this up 3 levels and we'll redo our test for a 3-level version of this. So we'll copy that and we'll just go up and up. Copy this one and we'll go up and up. And of course we have to copy this one as well. And we need to go up and up. Great. Now we also need to do some labeling for the inputs because I don't know which input is which, and we need to remember which input is which. So this is the square. Let's see where the square lands up at the end of this shape. That's the top right. So let's add in a label, top right. Then this is the emerald. Where did the emerald land in the final shape? The emerald is the bottom right. So let's get a label over here and we'll call this bottom right. Then where did this thing land? That is the circle. The circle is somewhere top left. Why is this not working, by the way? What? Oh, I didn't copy this stuff up. Sorry, where was the circle? The circle is top left. So let's call that top left. Then finally, the star is in the bottom left. So we'll do that. Last label. Oh, there's no space for a label. I can't put it here, right? What happens if I put it on top? No, it breaks it. Alright, we just have to put the label here. Bit confusing. Bottom left. Great. Now it's all labeled and all working. Let's let it validate itself. I'll give it 5 minutes to test that all 3 levels are indeed fully saturated, and then we've got a fully working blueprint, guys. This is amazing, by the way. It really is. It truly is just pure swap magic, honestly. What the heck? Swap, swap, rotate, 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 swap, 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 and somehow you've turned 4 whole shapes into a completely rearranged shape. And of course, this is going to work with any shape you want now, right? So like if you want to make this shape, for example, all you need is to feed in a emerald, you know, whatever. Like you probably have specialized blueprints for making simpler shapes like this, but as soon as a shape gets like more complicated, it's made of more than 3 different shapes, that's when this blueprint comes in handy. And it also does come in handy for this, because whatever blueprint that you used to have for, say, a shape like this, you can't, well, you can run your blueprint like 3 times to checkerboard the shape 3 times, or you can just feed it into this system and it'll give you 3 versions of that shape, which you can use. Amazing. All right, it's been running for quite some time. We just got to check all of this is saturated, all of this is saturated, all of this is saturated, and all of this is saturated. Beautiful. Our thing is fully efficient now, and it is reasonably compact. Up to you guys, you can do it on a 3x3. The reason why I don't want to do it on a 3x3 is if I want to keep my build symmetrical, it becomes fatter. This is what it will look like input output wise, symmetrically. It's kind of like 1 tile fatter than this, but obviously it's smaller, right? Is it smaller? Yeah, it is small. No, is it smaller? Yeah, it is smaller. It's smaller by 1 tile. Basically, so it's not really that, like, you can compact that. Also, the belt work is going to get super messy because unfortunately I don't think you can actually fit 4 of these, like 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you can't actually fit 4 of these like side by side, so you'd have to do something like 1, 2, 3, 4 and then do like belt work over here. All these 4 belts, you just have to like route them into these 4 sections. Oh no, it's not even that. This whole thing is all belt work. You need like 4 of these, but I'm sure you can fit 4 of these into a 3x3. You can do something like that, and that. Yeah, which leaves very little space for belt work, but it's there. There is space for belt work. So yeah, you probably have these facing like the middle somewhere, like this and this and this and this. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I'm gonna stick with my this and this design. It's a bigger platform. There's a lot of unused space, so it's not completely adhering to my compactness principle, but I like it. You know, let's save the blueprint. We'll grab 4 output belts, so we know these are the outputs. Then we will save it with the input belts. So let me copy this thing. I want to rotate it in the direction that I like. Do I like this direction? Yeah, all right. We've got all our other blueprints saved in this direction. It's all labeled, it's all working. So let's save this blueprint. Now we can call it something meaningful. How do I get this thing? Like 4 seems like something that I want in the icon. Then what is this thing? It's like a weird thing. Can I plus? What's plus? I can put a custom shape in there. So maybe I should make a custom shape code that's like CURUWU and SU to indicate it's like 4 different shapes. I don't know, something like that, or like a rearranger. Should probably put the icon of the swapper in there somewhere. Is that the swapper icon? I don't even know where the swapper icon. That's a half destroyer cutter. I don't know what the swapper icon is. Is that a swapper icon? I don't know. What does it look like? I've been using this so long, I still don't even know what a swapper icon looks like. Cutting swapper. Let me try that again. All right, let's save this blueprint. We'll put in a 4. We'll put in our custom shape, and then the swapper icon. Do you guys see the swapper icon anywhere? Yeah, here we go. The swapper icon. Swap. I'm never going to know what the heck this thing is. We're going to call it shape. The rearranger. 4x4 rearrange. Blueprint redesign series, and that will be the blueprint, and I'll make this available for you guys to download on the link in the description. And that's it, guys, a 4x4 rearranger that actually works. So we've gone from this crazy mess. Let's remind ourselves what this looked like before we started. That was this crazy mess. These were the inputs that I had, by the way. You would input here, 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 and where, I don't even know where the 4th input is. I think it's like here, like it's there. These were my 4 inputs, and then I had 4 outputs coming out and they weren't even working, and this was the crazy monstrosity and spaghetti I created. And now we've cleaned it up to this lovely thing. So we've definitely iterated well on this. I'm sure you guys can do even better than this, but this will be the blueprint I use in my 1000% hard mode factory series going forward whenever I need to create complex shapes. And I can use this to scale up drastically by creating 4 shapes and doing 4 times the output, which you kind of need when you're doing 1000% shape volume. But yeah, that's all, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed and learned something. Feel free to use my blueprints. Feel free to take them and improve upon them. And I will see you guys in the next episode. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good one.